These two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. How the fuck's that even happen? They're two grown men on a mission now, so buckle up and just strap in.
And I remember our first embrace, that smile that was on your face.
Two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. It's America's Barley Basket.
Welcome to episode 123 of America's Barley Baskets. My name is Nathan Volsebach, and sitting next to me, virtually, is Marlon Wells.
Hello, Nathan.
Hello, Marlon.
How you doing today, bud?
Not bad. I'm kind of, a little scratchy there.
What is
I'm
that
not
voice?
Bad. Yeah, because I was stuck debating. It's I'm very sweaty, but it's because we've been horsing around. And because I care so much about the fans, all the doors are closed, windows are closed, and no fan. So I'm just a damp daddy sitting here.
Look at you go. I don't care for damp daddy.
I need to lay a tarp down on this office chair because it is not. Holy shit. Gotta get gutters on the tarp. Dumping out a coffee can of sweat out the window.
Oh,
I caramba indeed. I actually hit the mailman in the head with my coffee can sweat. He just casually waits outside the door with a deer rifle.
Oh, the fucking weight of this chair is going up every day. It just drinks it up.
I gotta replace everything with nautical bolting because everything rusts out so quick.
Everything's got to be waterproof.
How much platinum screws cost? It's ridiculous.
Who can afford a boat?
Yeah.
I had to over here close the windows and turn the AC on today. It's like fucking 74 or some shit.
Yeah, I think it got to be 80 today here, so yeah.
Not bad. I'll take we'll put off the snow as long as fucking possible.
Yeah. Get your sweat on, get your tan on.
Oh, yeah. Got to worry about my tan.
Yeah.
I definitely don't look like a fucking fish belly year round.
Yeah, you should start doing this. We're doing these virtually. Just be out on your front porch and just a Speedo with those little eye protection things that they wear, the little half olives they put over their eyes.
Yeah, maybe one of those, what's that, sun reflector thing that folds out that you hold under your chin?
Yeah, because you wouldn't burn quick enough without that.
Got a little Playboy bunny sticker on my crotch, in order so you can see how the shades of tan, a tan line sticker. I wonder if people still do that. That was all the hot shit when I was young.
Get that biohazard triangle above your crotch.
Really send a message, yeah.
I don't take care of myself. Holy shit.
Hard to keep this sticker stuck to this hair. Get it big, too, like a fucking 6 inches across.
Yep, that's what I was thinking, sticker. Yeah. Can't miss it.
That is alarming. I'm going to say over the past, month or so, I've been getting into what I would call adult cereals. Not
do you mean radio programs like SERIALS, like soap operas?
Yeah, but pornographic because they're adult. Yeah. The last 5 weeks, I bet I have eaten 8 boxes of Wheaties and at least 3 or 4 boxes of cornflakes.
Oh God, fucking cornflakes are such a fucking limp dick of a cereal.
They're pretty good. I mean, Wheaties are better, but they're good.
Yeah. If I'm eating plain flakes, I will take Total of those options.
Oh, look at you, a fancy lad. I didn't know you grew up with money.
Yeah, I would take Total. Total be just ahead of Wheaties, and then there's fucking 50 yards of shit, and then it's fucking cornflakes. God,
what's wrong with the cornflakes? They're pretty plain. I'll give you that.
Dump the cereal out and eat the box.
They do, much like Necco wafers, they do have a little bit of like, oh, this is what cereal was before we invented cereal.
Yeah, this is what cereal tasted before they invented insulin. Like, this is when type 1 diabetics died screaming in their teens.
This is what you ate before you stood on that thing where you wrap the belt around you and it just shakes the shit out of you like a paint can mixer.
Yeah. Like, and I was never one to this day, put some sugar on it. No, because that just sinks to the bottom. And now I got a sludge at the bottom. Or here, I'll put some raisins in it. They're not covered in sugar, so they're not good. Raisin Bran raisins are drenched in sugar.
Yeah, Raisin Bran raisins are pretty fucking far away from raisins.
On the subject, though, it's funny. Fucking fuck you if you give me a bowl of cornflakes. You give me a bowl of Raisin Bran, we're fucking buds.
Raisin Bran's good. I'm into Raisin Bran.
Good cereal. You know what's a compromise I think my mom would sometimes make when it came to healthy cereals? She'd get us Honey Nut Cheerios.
I ate a lot of Honey Nut Cheerios.
Ain't nothing wrong with a bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios.
Nope, nothing wrong with that. Beats the shit out of a plain Cheerio. Yeah. The way you are talking about cornflakes is how I feel about a plain Cheerio. Just like, fuck me. Who's this for?
Yeah. I think it's close, but I'd go Cheerio just because I like the crunch a little more than the flakes.
You think there's anybody out there still buying Rice Krispies and not turning them into bars?
Just was going to say, I would take cornflakes over Rice Krispies, which is shocking to me.
Rice Krispies just turn into Quick-Crete immediately as soon as you put milk in it.
Why even eat at that point?
That gruel that it turns into.
At that point, just put your kids on a fucking drip. You know, they'll just plug them in at like 5 a.m. They'll be sufficiently full of nutrient by the time they get up in the morning. Like, ugh.
Plug in the gruel IV.
Yeah, good God.
You ever make the mistake as a kid? This definitely happened to me a couple of times as a kid, where it's like, oh, I'm going to try this other cereal, and it's like a heavy granola or a grape nuts. I have a distinct memory of this happening to me with grape nuts, where it's like, oh, we got grape nuts this time, and pour yourself a big bowl as if you're pouring yourself fucking Lucky Charms or something.
Yeah.
And then get about 8 spoonfuls in and see how much you have left and be like, oh God, I don't think this is dense in a way I was not ready for. Turns out grape nuts are full of air.
Yeah. Like, what are grape nuts? Like, what is it made out of?
I don't have a clue what it's made of or where the name comes from.
It ain't a flake. It ain't a circle. It ain't a nugget. It's kind of a nugget. Like,
yeah, but tiny. They're like BBs. Who is this for?
What's the base? Like, what does this derive from? Certainly not grape.
If you sprinkled a bunch into an air compressor, you could sandblast the side of a house for sure. Strip all the galvanization treatment off of a fucking Quonset.
Oh, yeah. We never had grape. That's the thing with grape nuts, too, because I worked in the grocery aisle a lot. Grape nuts, not cheap. One of the more expensive cereals you can get.
Yeah. Well, it's because there's fucking 84 servings in every box because you only need a fucking quarter cup of it.
Oh, yeah, that shit'll just suck milk up like the fucking Sahara because it's so dense. Jesus.
I put a half gallon of milk in this bowl. Holy shit. Why does it still hurt?
Yeah. I'll cut some bananas up and put that in the cornflakes. That's not an acceptable answer either.
Oh man, a cornflake. Cornflakes are good, it turns out. And fucking Wheaties are where it's at. Wheaties is good shit.
I remember my parents had left the house. He was a little kid too. Just fed up with the piss poor cereal selection. Just watched him casually go in the fridge, crack a Diet Coke. Just 6-year-old boy crush a can of Diet Coke. That's the opening scene from the movie Precious. So bummed with your breakfast options, just drinking a fucking cold can of Diet Coke. I should have given him a cigarette. I know there was some around the house.
If you're gonna have a fucking 44-year-old man's breakfast, you best commit here. Oh my God.
Finish out with a bag of sour cream and onion chips. Barrel of Fun, too. Not a good brand. Like the ones they sell at Cenex's.
Yep. A bad fucking store brand.
Yeah.
We're going to start with episode 11, Pork and Buns. Nope. I can't read my own notes. Pork and Burns.
Hey.
That makes more sense. We start off with a look inside the Japanese monastery where some monks are writing a book all traditionally, and then the book becomes a bestseller and they immediately industrialize and have robots making them. And the book is, we cut then to Springfield. Book is being sold in a car wash, and I didn't know car washes sold books.
There's one that I could think of in Fargo that's big enough that it has a rack of books on the inside.
Who's buying a book at a car wash?
There are some gas station managers that must just not be able to help themselves. Like, if they can squeeze another rack of shit in there are some gas stations I literally don't fit down the aisles. Like, I have to pay a child to go get me a whatchamacallit, because I will ruin that store by bending over.
Oh, God, you just pushing your way, knocking shit over.
Yeah.
People at the end of the aisle trying to calm you down. Oh, big fella. One's got a carrot out with his fingers flat so you don't bite.
There's a giant rack of those wooden fucking rubber band shooting guns. Like, why do you need so many of these? Like,
oh, my God. We might be thinking of the same one, but I'm immediately thinking of a gas station that is 99% that shit. Like,
yeah.
Who's this fucking concrete squirrel giving the finger lawn decoration for? Who's this for?
Yeah. There's truck stops that have a clothing section as big as Targets. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, why do you need this many sweatshirt options?
Who's buying all these blankets?
Yeah, oh my God! Yeah, there's fucking like the UNICEF wishes they had as many blankets as the fucking truck stop does. So many blankets.
Show me to the Scotcheroos. I have just recently made the switch car wash wise from you sit in the car as it goes through car wash to a person takes your car and you watch it car wash, like with these fucking, like one of these cut car washes where you watch them do it to it, and then they call your name there at the end. And I'll have to look and see if this one has books next time.
If you're thinking of the one I'm thinking of, there is indeed a book rack.
I cannot wait to peruse their book section.
Yeah.
I should buy one just to validate the owner. Just as soon as I'm out of earshot, he's looking around. See?
You buy a fucking hardcover Dr. Phil book.
Oh, God, you think that's what's there?
I think it's probably a lot of inspirational self-help shit.
Ah, fuck. Well, I hope it helps me turn my fucking life around.
Yeah. Help me, Dr. Phil. You're my only hope.
So Marge buys this book at the car wash. It is the Japanese Warrior Monk's Guide to Tidying Up is the name of the book. Homer buys himself some car wash sushi, which I can't imagine is a good idea.
Who is the woman that popularized this? Like
Marie Kondo.
Hey, there you go. And this had to be, that seems like it was like a 5-year ago thing. So
yeah, this seems right around this
might
time.
Be one of the most topical Simpsons episodes. Like, usually they're fucking 2 years behind everything, but this feels like a right time for this episode.
Same here. And maybe I'm misremembering, and maybe they were further behind than I'm thinking, but I had the same thought of like, they were kind of on the ball on this one, probably. And so Marge starts doing the Marie Kondo thing, which is you look at an object and ask if it still brings you joy, and if it's no, you get rid of it. And that's the Marie Kondo, like, minimalist living. Something I never really had to worry about because I don't really accumulate things. I'm a person who if you have something, use it, and if you don't use it, don't have it. So I don't live like a Spartan life. I still have stuff, but I don't accumulate a lot of useless garbage.
I don't sleep on sheets like a coward,
or a bed like a coward. So the whole family is going through getting rid of shit. Bart's getting rid of nothing. Everything brings Bart joy, which I think is kind of nice. Lisa goes completely the fucking other way. She very quickly has nothing but her saxophone left, and we'll get back to that. Homer having a bit of a hard time throwing some things away, but yet we see that he has thrown away the Mr. Plow jacket.
Yeah.
Which is
that's hard
bummer.
to believe. Yeah.
Barney dishes it out of the trash can and is like, now I'm Mr. Plow.
What was Barney's rival? Was he the Plow King?
Plow King, yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
And now Marge brings up to Homer the one thing she really wishes he would get rid of, and it's apparently been here this whole time, we've just never addressed it, is Spider Pig.
Yeah. Plopper. God, Plopper's a good name for a pig.
Ploppers is a great name for a pig. Yes, 100%.
Yeah, there's a pigsty in their backyard, which we've apparently never been privy to this whole time.
Yeah, I think that's funny. I think that's a lot of fun.
I like how Plopper could, like, morph through it. Like, he'll just be standing there and he'll just quickly sink down and be gone.
And pop up in a different part of the wallow, yeah. I like that he's like the only thing that they keep from the movie. Like he was the one thing. I think we've seen the Inuit fucking medicine lady one other time also.
You're right. Yep.
So Marge wants him to get rid of the pig. Homer's super sad, doesn't want to, but he's going to get rid of the pig. Tries to sell it on Craigslist, meets Snake in a fucking Sprawl Mart parking lot. This hit home for you because I immediately was like, this is how Nathan lives his life.
How I buy everything.
Midnight parking lots, meeting internet strangers.
Do we figure out what Snake's intention with the pig is?
I'm pretty sure he wants to eat it. He alludes to that anyway.
I think there's something he alludes to that makes Homer not want to sell to him.
Yeah, so Homer won't sell it to him. Gets in a fucking different van with a stranger and that screams as it drives away.
That was good too.
And then I forget exactly where he's going, but he goes somewhere and somebody has a dog that gets let in, but they won't let him in with his pig, and he's offended. Yeah. And whoever's watching the door, it's Luigi. They're at Luigi's place. Is like, well, yeah, but that's an emotional support dog. That's just a pig. So now Homer thinks, I'll just get an anxiety diagnosis, and then this will be a support animal, and I can take him everywhere. And then proceeds to watch his daughter have a fucking anxious breakdown. And the whole time he's like, what are the symptoms of anxiety? As Lisa is freaking out. She's like, you're looking at him. And there's a fun moment where he's like hugging her and she's like, okay, I'm going to be okay. I gotta sit down. Like there's like him talking down Lisa is a pretty fun scene.
Yeah. There's a scene when he's walking the pig. I think maybe they might be going to Luigi's and they run into Joyce Carol Oates, who's like dining outside, which that's the celebrity appearances I love are like the barely, but like that was Joyce Carol Oates talking too. Like,
it was her voice. I don't know who she is other than an author, but
like real, like the literary community loves her. And, they hired her to speak at either NDSU or Morehead State University here in Fargo. And she was a big fish for them, a very big fish for probably like their literary week. She came and they fucking, everyone was kissing her ass the way there. And she got up on stage and said, when I flew here and I saw all those vast vacant fields, I thought of all the vast vacant minds I would be speaking to tonight.
Oh, shit.
And the crowd just politely clapped.
Bless your heart.
Someone should have Stan Hansen lariated it out of her fucking shoes. Just some janitor with a bunch of school pride. Just fucking decleat her.
Yeah, unless her next sentence is, but I'm happy that you're all smart and normal people. Unless there's a retraction in the next sentence, who the fuck you think you are, lady?
Just talked about how great she was and dunked on the Midwest the whole time. And everyone just clapped because it's the Midwest.
Yep, because no one's going to say shit. That was probably a test and they all failed it.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
So Homer goes to a doctor and gets his, he goes to Dr. Nick, of course. Well, first he tries going to, he goes to a doctor and is like, oh, I'm just really anxious. And she immediately writes a prescription for weed. Like, okay, I get it. Here's your weed card. And then he's like, oh, actually, I was hoping for an emotional support animal. And she flips out.
Yeah, indignant.
Yeah, you fakers make me sick. And so, of course, he ends up in the helpful hands of Dr. Nick. And Dr. Nick...
His first line, how many opioids would you like?
That's the first thing he says when he's on screen. How many opioids would you like?
Haven't seen him in years, but he's already loaded up and ready to go.
And then, so he writes him a, I guess, prescription, if that's what you want to call it, for an emotional support animal, and then insists that he take 5 opioids with him. Yeah. And then pops one himself.
Yeah.
Dr. Nick, a little for the doctor.
Yeah, he's never changed.
We go back to Lisa, who, again, is left with only her saxophone because nothing brings her joy, and that doesn't either. She plays it a little and is getting nothing out of it. And so she is going to get rid of her saxophone. Homer's out here enjoying fucking life, taking his pig wherever he can, and it kind of becomes an actual support animal.
Yeah. That was pretty good.
We go to Nuclear Family Day at Mr. Burns' Manor, which is fun. I like that they call it that. And they're like, I don't know, there's booths, and it's kind of a party, kind of a house party. And we're hanging out. Lisa throws her sax in a fucking, donate to Goodwill kind of thing and gives it a tearful goodbye. And the hounds absolutely maul Spider Pig.
Jesus, yeah. That got real harsh real quick.
Yeah, the hounds get out of their pen and just whoop the shit out of that pig. And we go to Mr. Burns is worried that Homer's going to sue, so he lets the pig into his own personal hospital that he has built on the side of the manor. That's rich. That's luxury when you can have your own fucking hospital.
Yeah. I think they even mentioned it's far superior to anything else in Springfield, and it's just for Mr. Burns.
Yep. They bring up that it's better than the Mayo Clinic. I like that I like when people name drop the Mayo Clinic. I'm like, that's by us. I know where that is.
Yeah. What random, I think it has something to do with the weather. This is the good climate for tuberculosis patients or something when they built it in the 1800s.
Oh, okay.
There's it wasn't just fucking throw a fucking dart at a map. There was this is the perfect area. The air is so good because science was pretend back then.
Yeah. We got that good air, so you're going to be fine. We're still going to amputate that foot, but you'll be okay.
Your lungs will never be better.
Bart is really concerned with Lisa and how bummed she is. I like that she's just laying on a flattened out cardboard box in her room with no possessions at all.
One poster on the wall.
Because nothing brings Lisa joy because she's mentally ill.
Yeah, she needs to talk to somebody. Getting rid of her possessions isn't going to fix this problem.
Yeah. And Bart does a pretty good Big Brother thing, and he plays Lisa's saxophone music on the loudspeaker at school, like a thing that she had recorded on an old iPod, and he plays it for school, and the school all loves it, and now Lisa has joy back in her life via saxophone music. A good Big Brother, which doesn't happen often.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's nice to see Bart, not be a shithead, because we get an episode coming up where he's a pretty big shithead.
Oh, yeah. 100%. You need balance, I guess. The pig gets fixed up by the same veterinarian that Lisa worked with a couple seasons back when she's an intern at the vet clinic.
Old English guy.
Yep, old English guy. But Burns is super into this pig and just keeps him. That scene when Homer comes to get the pig and Smithers like, oh, he's still too sick to travel, and you look up and see Burns waltzing with the pig.
Or before that, there's a scene of them on horseback together on the beach, and Smithers is walking the horse, and it's Burns and Plopper riding a horse together. So good.
So good. Marge comes and gets Lisa and is like, I got a surprise for you. Come here. And takes her to a storage unit. She at one point mentions, well, storage units are our only growing industry, which I got a good laugh at.
Yeah, that was good.
And Marge didn't throw anything away because she doesn't have it in her to throw anything away, so she just put it all in storage.
Yeah, that's not
minimalism at all.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably better than have a house full of clutter, but yeah, it's you got to cut that cord, Marge.
Yeah, you got to have a garage sale. You guys have had garage sales before.
Yeah. You've tried to sell the totem before.
I'm glad we do see the totem later. I'm glad they didn't get rid of the totem.
Geez, the totem, that's got some years on it now.
The totem sparks joy, so that's why they couldn't get rid of it. Meanwhile, Homer goes, so Lisa's got her sacks back, and then meanwhile Homer goes to Mr. Burns. He's got his cat burglar outfit on. He's gonna get in there and steal his pig, and the pig comes out, and how does this go? The hounds are gonna attack it but don't. Smithers interrupts. Smithers is there to be like hey, you just take the pig and get out of here. And we see Mr. Burns in his fucking sleeping cap upstairs in the window, and Smithers is like, you gotta get out of here before he knows what's what. And immediately Burns turns and looks out the window and goes, what's what? That's such a good, quick little joke.
We get a lot of Burns and Smithers in this batch.
Yep. Guess how many complaints I have? None.
Little Burnsy boy over here.
Yeah. So Homer's got his pig back, and Lisa's got her sacks back, and that's the end of the episode.
Yeah, very fun episode.
Yeah, this one I like. Like, it's kind of fun to see the pig again. Like, there he is. Look at the fucking pig.
The pig is fun to look at. Like, the pig's funny. It's a funny design. Like, how its eyes are always bewildered. Like, the pig's never chill. Like, the pig's always on edge. And
it has an extreme, like, underbite. Like, if it were drawn as a human, it would have an extreme underbite. It's fun. I like the pig, so.
Yeah.
A pretty
The whole
simple...
Marie Kondo stuff, forgettable, but all the pig stuff was real good.
Yeah. Very simple, but good episode.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what episode 12 brings us. The Great Fatsby, Part 1. And we're getting into a real ambitious Simpsons episode here. Our first two-parter since Who Shot Mr. Burns? I don't know, season 5, probably?
Something like that. And that one had a season break in between them, you know?
I wonder if I bet they pushed the shit out of this on Fox. Like they advertised this as like a 1 hour event or something like that.
Oh, I'm sure. I bet this was a big fucking deal. I have never read The Great Gatsby. That was not on our like English reading list, and I never like circled back and swept it up.
I have written a paper about it because it was assigned to us, but I never read the book.
Jeez.
Did that thing where you just read the back of the book and try to piece together a story. Oh boy, we're really in deep this time.
As far as I can tell, is all they take from the book the vibes of Great Gatsby? Because I don't think it's like a retelling or a direct one-to-one parody or anything, is it? Yeah,
just kind of the style of it, you know, like.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
I think both, like how this episode is not often, but is occasionally narrated by Homer, and I think there's an overarching narrator throughout The Great Gatsby telling the tale of The Great Gatsby, like his rise and fall.
Okay. And I've never seen the Baz Luhrmann movie, but I assume maybe it takes from the look of that too.
Yep. I know at one point, like, a cup is held up, like Leonardo DiCaprio holds up that wine glass.
Yeah, which I only know from memes. But I also was like, there's the cheers. Yeah. Okay.
On that note, we're running into a point now. When was the last time you said, oh, that's from the meme, like a Simpsons image? We haven't said that much in the last 10 seasons, I bet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it used to be every third episode, there'd be like an iconic Simpsons image that lives on the internet to this day.
Yeah, like, oh, there's Homer in the bushes, you know.
There's Lisa standing in front of an overhead screen, you know, talking about something, yeah.
Well, I imagine like all the memes came from the old stuff because that's what people like the most or remember the most.
The iconic episodes. So with The Great Gatsby, it begins with Mr. Burns reflecting on how boring his life has become. He has all the possessions a man can want, but he doesn't do anything with them. He's just a dud. But by God, he's reminded of the parties he had in his youth, which was the goddamn 1920s, because he is a vampire. So he wants to throw a party that rivals the parties he threw when he was a young man. Smithers, of course, is in charge of everything, including, which was a great gag, Burns demands of lake ice from northern Canada. He can't have regular ice.
Yeah.
But before he goes, he also tasks Smithers with inviting everyone, or sending out his invitations. But Smithers looks at the invitations. What he tells Homer is pretty much everyone on here is either imaginary or dead.
So good.
I think we see one that's for Popeye T. Sailor Man.
Yep, I liked that one. Sailor Man, all one word, like a name.
So Smithers is like, well, Homer's a popular fellow here at the power plant, so he tasks Homer with handing out the invites, which, as far as I could tell, Homer just gives to everyone in town.
Yeah, he's like putting them on windshields under wipers.
And by God, it works, because nearly the whole town shows up to the party, but they promptly leave because the party is an absolute dud.
He cheaped out. He tried to save some fucking money.
Yep, the appetizers are shit. You got to pay to use the bathroom, which is a very good, very good Burns is a shithead gag.
The band is just two old men playing brass instruments poorly.
Yeah.
I like Sideshow Mel hollering at the bartender, if I knew it was a cash bar, I'd have gotten drunk at home. It's so funny.
And Burns comes out to address them, and he thinks it's a good time, but I think it's Mo who comes out and like dresses him down. Well, Mo was like, and I know cheap, and he rips his suit off and mentions, I bought a suit, photocopied it, and returned the suit. So his suit is just printer paper.
And wore the photocopy. Yeah, and he crumples it up and throws it down.
So good. So the whole city leaves by like 7 p.m. Like, it's like the sun is still outside, and Burns is dejected. He's like, I guess I've lost my touch. I'm just not the dashing man I once was. And Homer, for some reason, well, I guess I get it. He helps set the party up. He feels like he can't let Mr. Burns just like be alone right now. So he's consoling Mr. Burns at like the end of a dock, and they notice across the lake or stream, well, not a stream, river, whatever body of water it is, there's a hell of a party going on at another mansion. And they paddle. I mean, Homer paddles. Burns whips. He's like, would whipping help? He's like, maybe a little. And they get over there, and it is a fucking buck wild party. They're getting after it at this other mansion. And they're walking around. They can't believe it, like all the opulence that they see. And eventually they are captured this isn't the kind of party you just crash. They bring him up to the owner's suite, and it turns out the home is owned and the party's hosted by a hip-hop mogul named JG. And we don't know what's going to happen, but it turns out JG loves Mr. Burns. He idolizes him because Burns wrote a book at some point in the past, and JG used that as his kind of his blueprint to gaining power and wealth. Can you think of the book's title?
No, it's the Rungs of Ruthlessness.
Yep,
I think
there
is
you
what
go.
it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a self-help book, except about how to be ruthless.
Yeah. And what is also different, I kind of missed this. This isn't at Burns's house. It's at his like lake home in the Springfield Hamptons.
Yes.
So it's a very rich, fancy pants neighborhood, which Marge is having the time of her life being out and about window shopping. And they go in to get some kind of fancy, like artisanal ice cream, and a real rich kid on like a, what do they call those Segways without the handles? Just like the little.
I hate that they call them this, but they're called hoverboards, and that's not what a hoverboard is.
Yeah, that thing's got wheels. That ain't a goddamn hoverboard.
And ain't nothing hovering for shit.
Yeah.
Marty McFly'd be rolling in his grave right now. Call that a hoverboard.
Marty McFly still with us.
Yes.
But yeah. His theoretical grave. So this kid comes by with like a fucking Bluetooth and a hoverboard, being a real fucking Bobby Big Wheel, just bursts in front of the line to get his fancy ice cream.
Bobby Big Wheel. I hope you call children that on the street.
That might be the first time I've called a child that. I've called many adult that. Look, fucking Bobby Big Wheel over here thinks the fucking sun rises and sets with him. I like ice cream. But none of the other kids will stand up to him because he has the richest parents, but Lisa doesn't give a fuck, and she dresses him down, which this kid is into because no one ever stands up to him, to the point he asks Lisa out for like a little kid date, which they end up going whale watching on his family's yacht. And we get a good visual there too of like the whales are too far away, so they have helicopters on standby to capture whales and bring them closer.
This kid is such a fucking huge piece of shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Not to backpedal too far, but where do you stand on like a bougie ice cream joint with weird ice cream flavors? You get into that at all?
I'll go to them because usually the ice cream itself is good, but I don't need fucking menthol cough drop ice cream. I'll just find a basic bitch flavor and roll with that.
There's a real good one down in Minneapolis called Milk Jam. I think it's in Northeast Uptown. That's real fucking good.
Yeah, if it's like, oh yeah, let's get some fancy ice cream. Sure, why not? But that's never an idea for myself. Like,
it's never your idea to go there, but you'll get dragged along.
Eating ice cream alone when you're fat is not a good look. Couldn't even go one day, you pathetic son of a bitch.
I don't even like Earl Grey. Why would I order the ice cream flavor? Flamin' hot. Why did I think that was a good idea?
Vermouth. Holy fuck. Drinking a vermouth vanilla ice cream slurry. Oh, fuck.
Last time I was at Milk Jam down in Minneapolis, I had one called Indian Elvis that was peanut butter, banana, and curry. Yellow curry.
What the hell?
Fuck, that was good.
Not in my America. No. I think strawberry ice cream is too ostentatious.
A little too fancy for you.
Yeah. Who does this guy think he is?
Strawberry.
If it's your birthday, you get some Hershey syrup. Otherwise, just eat up.
You just eat plain vanilla ice cream right out of the bucket.
That's one thing. That's why I don't raise my nose at fancy ice cream joints, because that's the only place you can get a bowl of vanilla ice cream, and the ice cream itself is so good. It's like, well, can't even bitch about this. Yeah,
look at all the vanilla bean.
Yeah. Like, compare that to a scoop of great value vanilla ice cream out of a 5-quart pail. It's fucking same planet, different worlds.
That ain't no ice cream.
Yeah. So Burns and JG are really hitting it off, and Burns has questions for him. He has questions for Burns. And JG finally kind of breaks through to Burns. Like, you got all this money and you're an old man. Have fun. Spend it. He's like, you're a baller. Live like it. And
you got to splash the cash.
That's it. There you go. Yeah. And they're in his private jet, I believe, when he gives him the Obsidian card. This insane high-end credit card. And it's like, all the like Burns is kind of skeptical. I've never had a credit card in my life. He's like, oh, trust me, you'll love it. Like, and he does.
I love that. I love that little tidbit that Burns has never had a credit card before because he's never needed one.
He never needed credit. He's pay with his family's gold doubloons.
So good.
So, and then we get some great visuals of Burns spending his money on ridiculous shit. And a bunch of all the losers from the plant become his posse and his hangers-on and stuff like that. So this was very good. I enjoyed this part a whole bunch.
A lot of Mr. Burns wearing real fucking loud suits and fur coats and shit.
I'm trying to think, what were some of the real high-end shit that he bought?
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. The only thing I jotted down anyway, well, there's a couple. They show him and JG on stage, and JG unveils like his vitamin water, which is vitamin G, which is that's like a 50-cent thing because 50 something put a bunch of money into vitamin water and like made a shit ton of money on vitamin water. And then Burns unveils his, and it's this huge bottle, and it's called Laudanum B. And I love that Mr. Burns' cash splashing involves getting his own brand of laudanum.
Like it's the fucking 20s.
We ought to bring back laudanum. I think laudanum's due for a fucking comeback any day now. I suppose you can, as easy as opioids are to get, you could make it yourself.
Why aren't we all fucking doped up on laudanum like a fucking 1920s housewife, because it calms us down.
Slowly killing ourselves like Kurt Russell's wife in Tombstone,
Was it laudanum that she was hooked on?
Yeah. That new bottle. Yep. That's laudanum. Laudanum's just alcohol and morphine is all laudanum
Interesting.
is.
Okay. I knew it was like an opioid type thing. It would numb your pain. Yeah.
Fucking just letting a fucking OxyContin dissolve in the bottom of your fucking beer and just having a party.
Just drop the pill in, shake the bottle, and shotgun it.
Plop, plop, fizz, fizz. Oh, what a relief it is. Just. What day is it?
Just melt into the floor of the bar.
And then the other rad thing Burns buys is basketball lessons with Charles Barkley.
Yeah. Which was voiced by Charles Barkley. I could tell that pretty clearly.
Yep, voiced himself. Unable to get the ball to the basket from the free throw line is
so good.
Feeble Burns.
Yeah. So while all this is going on, Marge and the kids are still walking around the Springfield Hamptons, and there's a pony show in town. So of course Lisa's radar is up, but there is a protest. There's a bunch of hippies banging on drums. I can't remember what they're protesting. Is it like
the horse race?
Yeah, like they have like some signs, and there's some pretty good visual gags there. And it turns out this one little kid playing the drums pulls his head back, and it's the original rich kid. So Lisa has changed his ways, and he's all about like, hey, now I see it's not all about just opulence and thinking about yourself. You got to think about others, the less fortunate. And Lisa's all just smitten by this. But then another rich kid on a hoverboard shows up, and he has a VIP pass and extra combing time, I think is what it's called. And
brought his own mane combs.
Yeah. Which Lisa has to accept.
Also, he's riding 2 hoverboards.
I didn't notice that.
It's so good.
And I noticed the original kid's hovercraft or hoverboard is now solar powered. So he's really trying his best.
Trying to woo Lisa. And when they're sitting there and he's just like, oh, you can stay with us and protest. No, come with me and comb the horses, and she's so conflicted. And then when she finally breaks and just grabs the main comb, takes off on the hoverboard screaming "Horsey" is so funny. I love Lisa throwing away her principles anytime there's a pony involved.
Yeah, that's always been the case. Ponies are Lisa's weakness. Back to Burns and the gang. Burns' freewheeling ways end when his card is declined. Of course, he scoffs at that, but they're like, hey, man, I think it's Hey Pally. He's like, It's attached to your bank, so I don't know what to tell you. So, and it turns out he is flat broke, and it goes from bad to worst. I think Homer reveals JG's newest song, which is just JG reveling in the fact that he convinced Burns to go broke. And then the real swerve is it turns out JG owns that credit card company, Obsidian.
Yep, so he owns the bank.
So not only is Burns broke, all of his shit belongs to JG now.
Mm-hmm.
And we get some, not feeble Burns, but pathetic Burns, like him crying, him kicking the step and hurting his foot, him falling down, and like I think the sprinklers go off, so he's soaked and sad and pathetic. So
yeah, it really goes as badly as possible for poor Burns.
So really, things really blow up in Burns' face at the end. So we're at a real low point when part 1 wraps up.
Yeah, and that's where that part wraps up as far as, you know, how it aired, I guess, maybe. But like on Disney Plus, this is one episode.
Yeah, it just keeps cooking.
Yeah, so maybe they split it up differently when it aired or something. Even like on the Wikipedia, it's listed as 2 different episodes. And if you look on the list on Disney Plus, it goes from like episode 12 to episode 14. I was confused, but
I was very baffled. It took me far too long for a grown man to figure out what happened. The internet's wrong. No, man, you're dumb.
I immediately thought like, oh, was this spicy somehow? And we like, is this a Michael Jackson episode? Like,
interesting.
You know, oh, we had to pull this one down. This is the one where Mo says the N-word a bunch. Like
in 2017, Jesus, that'd be something.
Who wrote this?
Yeah. Who thought this would be a good idea?
So JG has fleeced Mr. Burns and gotten him to go completely fucking broke. Even comes by and takes the hounds, which is heartbreaking for Mr. Burns. Poor Mr. Burns is so fucking sad throughout all this.
And how does he get the dogs? Because Burns is like, they'll never go with you. I raised them from pups.
JG just puts his hand out and they sniff it and he goes, yeah, dogs can smell power.
That's what it is.
That's it.
Yeah.
They get in the limo with him. We got it a bunch in the first half of this, not so much in the second half because it does take this revenge turn, but I like in the first half, we get a lot of Mr. Burns wanting people to like him, and that was a thing that flared up every once in a while in the early days.
Yeah.
But
in the early days, there was always a gag where he didn't understand why people didn't like him.
Yeah, and then would like try to gain their favor somehow.
Yeah.
That's a thing we haven't seen in a long time on this show. We keep cutting back to Smithers, who is still on his way back from northern Canada with this lake ice. This bit, he wakes up in a horse that he's been sleeping in for warmth like a tauntaun.
Yeah. That block of ice, easy 3,000 pounds of ice. It's like 8 feet by 8 feet by 8 feet.
Yeah, that he's pulling in a log sled that he has built.
In the snow.
Yeah. Let it never be said that Mr. Smithers isn't committed to Burns. We go back to kind of the main drag of the Hamptons here, and Marge has opened her own store, her own cute little store, which is all this street is.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, we're gonna sell this and that, and it's just like knickknacks, you know. It's just a junk store,
erasers shaped like states."
Yeah, and like also some bougie stuff. Like at one point, Lisa's like, "Oh, these handbags made out of jukebox speakers," you know. Like,
how much should we ask? $5? No, 100.
Yeah, high end repurposed, like kitsch shit.
Yeah.
I know exactly the store that this place is. Like,
oh my God, yeah.
I kind of like these stores.
Yeah. I'll give a quick walkthrough and never buy shit, though. That's always the thing. Like,
if something catches my eye that I gotta have, absolutely.
Yeah.
A leather horseshoe briefcase, yeah, absolutely. That's true story. I, at an antique shop here in town just earlier this summer, very nearly bought a leather horseshoe bag, like a bowling ball bag, but for your throwing horseshoes.
What the hell? Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
It came with horseshoes, and I'm like, I could take up horseshoes.
Yeah, or fill it with hard candies.
I used to play a lot of horseshoes.
You in the park with that thing eating everlasting gobstoppers out of it. Oh, my jaw hurts.
These aren't even the chewy kind, as I'm just breaking shit. I was always a chewy gobstopper guy, and not a suck on it kind of guy.
I would. Oof, that's a thing to overhear.
Same with sprees. I always wanted chewy sprees, not the fucking
really?
hard sprees. Yeah.
I don't even remember the chewy options that well. I remember mostly just the hard candies.
Oh, yeah, you're missing out.
Yeah, I'll fuck up a hard candy, but never once have I spent money on an everlasting gobstopper or a spree.
Oh, see, they sold both of those at the concession stand at the high school basketball games. And I think they were a little cheaper than like a Snickers bar. So
oh, really?
I had me some sprees and some gobstoppers in my day.
You're a sweet boy. You like the sweet candies.
I am a sweet boy. Ain't no two ways about it.
Sam, I'm decadent. I like chocolate. Don't talk to me before I have had my chocolate.
You got that mug? You got that script font mug?
Level with German chocolate frosting.
Oh, the Betty Crocker brand has too much coconut. Oh.
So decadent. You go down to the basement when you drink that.
You think you could eat a can of store-bought frosting without making yourself sick?
Super rich shit makes me like sick is the right word. Like I just don't feel good.
Makes my teeth hurt thinking about it.
Yeah.
Homer has to go back to work at the plant. He's like conflicted. He wants to help Mr. Burns, but he's got to fucking put food on the table. So he goes back to work at the plant, which now JG owns.
Yeah.
And I like that he's... So, I like the joke that he has, like, blinged it out, you know? Like, it's got, like, the Louis Vuitton print, but it's JG instead. Yeah. At the same time, and I didn't bring this up in the first episode, but throughout these two episodes, all of the, like, hip-hop shit feels like a bunch of white guys wrote this.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad I'm not the only one to think that.
Yeah, they've never handled rap music well on The Simpsons.
No, not at all. But it felt like this is what the white guys would, or this is what white dudes would write if they were trying to write like the rags to bitches storyline from the Boondocks.
Yeah. They might handle it better here than they have in the past, which is not great praise.
Yep. I agree 100%, and I also agree that that's pretty low bar.
Never once do we hear, I'm Homer Simpson, and I'm here to say...
Sadly, I was hoping for it. So Homer has to work at the plant. JG calls him up to Burns' office that he's taken over and makes him throw all of Burns' stuff down the trap door as a one final fuck you to Mr. Burns, and pays off Homer with cobbler. He's got all these cobblers from his aunt in Georgia, and he's just like, I got strawberry, blueberry, apple, rhubarb, and then gets to pineapple, and Homer's like, you can't cobble pineapple, which is such a good line, and also probably true. I can't imagine a pineapple cobbler being any good. Yeah.
You'd have to like sugar it up a ton to get rid of all that tartness, I think.
Also, think of how fucking wet pineapple is. Like, you'd have to fucking squeeze that shit out before you tried to cook it.
At one line, he tearfully says, I've never seen such beautiful cobbler.
I love a cobbler.
Oh, my God. Same here.
give me a peach cobbler. I'll fuck shit up.
Peach cobbler over a peach pie any day.
I'm with you. Cobbler over pie. Yep.
Yeah. Hot takes here at America's Barley Basket.
We got them. We got the spice. Homer on his way home with his fucking cobbler cake, just a glass Pyrex fucking cake pan that he's eating cobbler out of with a metal spatula. Jesus Christ. Comes across and he's going by the graveyard, the Springfield Cemetery, and he's doing his narration, and he says, while searching for an empty grave to barf in, I heard a familiar voice. And the idea that he's just like, oh, I gotta throw up.
Too much cobbler.
Gonna look for an empty grave to barf in.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Oh, God, that wrecked me. He comes across Mr. Burns, who's in the only thing he has left, which is the Burns family mausoleum, and he's stewing flowers.
Yeah. There's a name for that soup he's making.
A grief soup.
Grief soup, there you go, yeah.
Yeah, would you like some grief soup? I've stewed it from flowers from graves. And they decide they're going to get revenge on JG. Homer kind of talks him into it. Homer explains how bad he feels, and he says something along the lines of, after 8 cobblers, I started to feel bad, but then ice cream got me through another 3 cobblers, and then I started to feel bad again. So,
imagine what 11 cobblers would look in a pile.
11 13x9 cake pans full of hot fruit cobblers. Oh my God. You would die.
Yep.
Homer has the perfect plan, and I liked this. It's kind of out of character, but also kind of exactly correct. Like, if you want to learn about hip hop, you got to go to a white nerd. So they're in Milhouse's room.
Yeah.
While Milhouse explains like 90s hip hop to them and all the different affiliations and beefs. And they find out that that JG used to be part of a softer like R&B group, and that this fella named Jazzy James wrote all of Jay's hits, but then kind of disappears. And we met him in the last episode. He is the sidewalk scented candle salesman, who tries to sell Bart a candle for $55. And so they go to him, and he's going to write a revenge rap against JG. This is how you know a bunch of white guys wrote this, is we're settling this with, like, bad diss raps. Like, that's not how any of this... Okay, guys. Marge, back at her store, is fucking losing it. She's starting to come unwound. We touch on her just briefly, and then leave her again for a bit. Jazzy James eventually does kill it. He lays down a diss track against JG, and Praline comes smashing through the fucking door. This is Jay's ex-wife, and she's on board to help destroy him. And then it turns out that JG has other enemies in the rap game, and we bring in the RZA and Snoop and Comin as our guest rappers, all voicing themselves.
And I think Praline was voiced by the same actress who plays like the vengeful ex in the TV show Empire.
I think it's Taraja or Tarahi.
Taraji Henson, P. Henson or something.
Yeah, that's her name. I've never seen Empire. Is Empire any good?
I think it was popular. I think critics kind of liked him, and that's me. Nor have I seen it.
I like what's his name. Guy from
Terrence
Hustle
Howard?
and Flow. Terrence Howard. I like him a lot. You think he wakes up and kicks himself for like demanding more money for Iron Man 2, and when they didn't kowtow to him, they just replaced him with Don Cheadle? I
wonder, yeah.
So now Don Cheadle's been in like 8 more Marvel movies and has his own movie on its way out.
Yeah. I bet he tries not to dwell.
Yeah,
that could keep you up at night.
I bet he stays up at night just like, God damn it. I preferred his fucking roadie to Don Cheadle's roadie anyway.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like not even close. It's kind of apples and oranges. Like Don Cheadle plays just a different kind of Captain Rhodes, but
Oh, okay.
It's
been so long since I've seen that first one. I can't even think of a hot take, so I can't agree or disagree.
I prefer Terrence Howard. Also, Jazzy James played by Keegan-Michael Key, who I really like. I like that Comin is like super kind and conscientious, and then eventually does lay down some hate on this track. And he does it later too when we talk to him, because Common's like a conscientious rapper. He's not like a hard rapper. So I thought that was a fun little detail, because as soon as he walked in and they're like, the RZA and Snoop and Common, I'm like, Common on a fucking diss track? What? But they address it. I thought that was fun.
And does he at one point have a moment with Milhouse? Or is it somebody else?
Yeah, it's him. Yeah, he and Milhouse fist bump or something.
Like they know each other previously, which I liked. Like they have a history.
I think he even calls him House. Like, I think he's got a little nickname for him.
That was pretty good.
That's fun. Common also a pretty decent actor. Like, he's on that Hell on Wheels show. That's a good show. He's good in, what is it, Lucky Number 11? Is that Assassins movie? Yeah.
Yeah. He's been at that for probably 15 years now.
Yeah. Common facts.
Well, there we go. Uncommon facts.
You want to start a Common podcast?
Yeah. Jesus, you'd be doing a lot of the lifting on that one.
Welcome to Common Sense.
Be a lot of me going, that sounds right. And you try to slip in obviously fake shit, and I agree with it.
Yeah, both legs totally fake. Helicopter accident, 2001. Oh yeah, that sounds right.
He wrestled Paul Abdul at WrestleMania 19. Remember that? Oh yeah, hell of a match.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, you know, most celebrities don't got it. He really did.
Yeah. Dude can work. Good for him.
We quick flashback to Smithers, who's in a French Canadian bar in a fucking hatchet fight with a biker. They got their wrists tied together and they each have a hatchet. Holy shit. That's a great visual.
Yeah.
So Burns has his hate song against JG, and he's going to release it. And he tries to, but JG bought everybody off and bought the song. So no one gets to hear it. And all the people that were just on his side are now not on his side anymore. Feeds the fucking USB drive to the goose. And that's all.
Yeah.
We get back to Marge's store, and she's so fucking disheveled. Like she's falling apart. And Homer informs her what he's been up to and that they're going to have to sell the store, which she is relieved to find out. I bet this is a thing in these kind of touristy and or super rich bougie neighborhoods where you don't want to have a store. You just want to have a place for your friends to wander into, you know?
Yeah. And full of cute things.
Yeah, and if that's all the stores that are there, then you open one of those too. And I love the sign guy. Is it Sam the sign hanger or whatever his name is? He's making money hand over fist in this town because this happens to everyone. They think they want a store, they open it, and then they go out of business, and now they need a new sign. So he's just raking it in. So they sell the store. Now Burns is going to steal the goose is his revenge plan, and he steals it, and JG freaks out and goes riding his motorcycle over to Burns's, and when he gets there, Burns lifts up the silver platter and the goose is on it, completely cooked, and he's like eating it. And Jay freaks out, but then immediately Homer lets him know it's not the real goose. Homer didn't have it in him to kill the goose.
I think Homer was supposed to hide the goose, or that was Homer's plan, but the goose got loose or bit him or something, so the goose was out in the open.
So now Burns and Jay are both going for the goose. This goose is like the mascot for JG's record label, Golden Goose Records. So he's very emotionally attached to this goose. They both go for it. They're both hanging from the big crystal chandelier in the in Burns's foyer, I guess. And as the chandelier starts to give way, Burns is like, "Why would you do all this to me?" And JG tells him, "Well, it's the last chapter of your book to take out the man who made you," you know, like. And Burns is so fucking flattered that, like, oh, I guess my legacy will live on. I never thought that self-help book would help anyone. And so he's very flattered by all this. And JG idolized Mr. Burns, and we come crashing down just as Smithers gets there with the now mostly melted ice cube, and the chandelier lands in it, and they are perfectly safe. And then Burns chastises Smithers, saying, "I wanted ice, not slush."
Yeah, so good.
And then we get some manner of narration from Homer, and we're done. We're on the way out.
There's a couple things that really cracked me up. It was when Bart stumbled into the mausoleum and Mr. Burns is going to shoo him away, but Homer's like, no, this kid's pure evil. He'd be perfect for something like this. But Bart's like, why should I help you guys? I think it's Burns like, could I interest you in wearing the gloves and cape of the Gaslight Strangler? So for like the rest of it, he's always got those rubber gloves and that cape on, which is so good.
Yeah, that is fun.
And I can't remember where it's at, but it's at the very close to the end of the episode. Someone says the line, "He made me get a tattoo of the baseball from Major League," and they pull up their sleeve or their shirt. They have the head with the mohawk, or the ball with the mohawk. Like, that's a good reference. That's a good joke.
That's a good tattoo, too. Yeah, I'm pretty into that tattoo. Yeah.
Oh, holy shit. People would be so, like, taken aback. Like, why do I know? Wait a second. Is that the baseball from the cover of Major League?
Where do I know that from? Yep.
It's like a mohawk, a big smile, and sunglasses, kind of.
And I think an earring, but I might be wrong on that. But yes.
Yeah, that sounds right, though.
Because it looks like Ricky from the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ricky Wild Thing Vaughn?
You got it, Vaughn. Yeah. Yes, I couldn't think of his last name. Give him the heater. That's a good movie.
Yeah. Listen, we won 2 in a row. If we win 3, I believe they call that a winning streak.
People forget about that movie when listing off great Wesley Snipes performances.
Oh. Yeah, good call.
He's very good in that movie.
What is it? Willie Mays Hayes.
Willie Mays Hayes. Yeah, he's like the Ricky Henderson, like the speedy base stealer.
Flashy center fielder, yeah. The dude from, like, the insurance commercials is the big power hitter from Latin America because he has the totem, the Jobu, because he's trying to learn how to hit breaking balls.
Hats for bats. Hats keep bats warm.
And Corbin Burnson's like the jaded star who's like in it for the money and just wants to get out of Cleveland.
Yep, and Tom Berenger is the veteran catcher, like the leader of the locker room. Yep, that's a fucking good movie.
A very good movie. I wonder if the sequels hold up at all.
I don't know that I've ever seen any of the sequels.
I don't know if I have. I think it's a case of where the second one came out right away and wasn't a big hit. And a third one came out like 8 years later. Like, I think the third one came out in the late 90s. So.
Am I getting it wrong, or is Scott Bakula in one of the sequels? I can see his face on the DVD cover.
Scott Bakula is also in a fun football movie where he's the old quarterback.
Oh,
like yeah.
Is it Necessary Roughness?
Necessary Roughness. Yeah, that's a Sam Bakula.
Scott Bakula.
Scott Bakula. The back is back. Necessary Roughness 2. Getting Sinbad. Kathy Ireland's still the kicker. How baffled would she be by that phone call?
You guys want to make what?
Bakula said he won't do it if you don't do it. He's like, why are you even bringing him back? Just cast new people for everything.
Speaking of Scott Bakula, they're bringing back Quantum Leap.
Yep, I saw they advertising the shit out of that.
Quantum Leap was a fucking great show, or at least I'm remembering it as a great show.
As a kid, I always thought, this seems dorky, but then I get sucked into it. Like, that's a good concept.
I think purely in terms of concept, Early Edition was the better pseudo time travel thing on television.
Oh, man. I remember ads for that. Saturday nights, I think, on CBS. I think...
Like, who's that star? Was it Dean Cain or the guy that looks like Dean Cain?
Yep. That guy has went on to star, and not star, but play major roles in like really good dramatic movies. Like there's I can't remember, like a period piece where it's like the 1950s and his wife, he finds out his wife is cheating with another woman, and just like how a husband would deal with that in the 50s. They wouldn't even know where to begin, like.
Oh, yeah.
He's in a really depressing movie called Westminster by the Sea. He pops up in some good shit.
Kyle Chandler.
There we go. I think, am I wrong? I think that the Early Edition was paired on Saturday nights in a combo with Walker, Texas Ranger, and Touched by an Angel. I don't know why
sounds right. Touched by an Angel strikes a chord with me. Yeah, I think that led into that one.
Yeah. Gee, picturing 13-year-old Marlon excited for the double dip of Early Edition of Touched by an Angel.
I don't think I was watching Touched by an Angel even as a kid. I think I thought that was dumb.
Even with that cutie pie British gal?
Even with cutie pie Brit, yeah. There was no saving me, Nathan.
Yeah.
A couple of fucking high concept shows back to back to back there. Yeah. Like martial artist Texas lawman, followed by time traveling cat newspaper, followed by literal angels.
Yeah. The networks get like that every once in a while, right? In the mid-90s, NBC went really hard with like a show called The Pretender and another one called The Profiler. And both had some like one could read the future and the other could fucking do something magic. And they pushed one of them, I think, made it like 5 seasons, which in network TV is a success. But the other one, they fucking reverse tomahawk dunked that one into the fucking recycle bin pretty quick.
There's only room for one.
Yeah. Yeah. The only one for one big fucking tent pole fucking hour long, every episode's a fucking short movie type thing.
Wasn't Scott Bakula, isn't he one of the Star Trek captains? Yep. Now that I think about it, it's not Maybe Deep like Space Nine. It's a one-word one.
Yep. Oh man, isn't it one that's like supposed to happen in the timeline? It's like the oldest, like it's like the proto fucking Enterprise. Like it's supposed to predate like the Captain Kirk shit.
Oh, it's like a prequel series?
Yep. Yeah.
Enterprise.
There you go. Okay.
That was an easy one that neither of us could pull.
I don't know shit about Star Trek.
Neither
Wasn't there
do
a woman captain? That sound right?
Well, that's outrageous. No, I don't. I have no idea.
I think in the late 90s, either the WB or UPN thought they were going to fucking make big fucking fat stacks with a new Star Trek. And that woman I know went on to be on the Orange is the New Black. If that's the only other thing I know her from, but no idea what that was about. But yeah, almost sure there was a short-lived Star Trek with a woman captain.
I have always been told that Next Generation is so fucking good.
Which is insane. It can't be. As a kid, I just this looks so fucking lame.
I mean, sure it could. Like, Star Trek's always been, like, from what I understand it anyway, it's like thinking man Star Wars, you know? Like, it's not about fucking laser sword fights. It's about fucking philosophy or something.
Yeah.
I'm into that.
Yeah. That ain't what 12-year-old Nathan needed. 12-year-old Nathan needed a laser sword fights.
12-year-old Nathan probably needed, like, a towel also. 12-year-old Nathan needed a lot of things, I think.
Therapy.
But like I got through the first season of The Next Generation and I was like, boy, this is I recognize that this is good, but I don't know that this is for me, guys. And And a friend of mine whose opinion I trust on most things, and he's a fucking huge Next Generation nerd, was like, trust me, skip to the start of season 3. And I just don't know that I can do that. I don't know.
That's weird. Yeah.
I don't know that I can just start at season 3 on a TV series.
If you had to guess, how many seasons were there of that show?
Oh, fuck. I don't know. Half a dozen?
Yeah, I have no clue. Did that show last 5 seasons or 12?
Yeah,
no clue.
I would say half a dozen, maybe 10 tops. I think seasons were longer back then, maybe.
Yeah, and they were syndicated, so that shit's always all weird. They didn't play by their own rules.
Yeah, just putting up a new episode whenever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
And I hear Picard is good, but I'm not going to get anything out of it because I haven't watched the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
These are the hard things I got going on, Nathan, where I'm just like, God, what do I even do about all this Star Trek? Yeah. I'm in the middle of watching too many horror movies. Also kind of in the middle of a Doctor Who rewatch again.
100 years ago, your great-grandfather was fist fighting a man for a potato right now.
And I'm like, when do I have the time to watch all my shows?
Lying on a recliner with 3 blankets on.
What am I supposed to do, kitty?
Chewing out a guy at DoorDash because they won't bring the food to your chair.
No, sir, we leave it at the door. This 2-parter Gatsby thing, I thought was it's good because it's got Mr. Burns in it,
Yeah, but other than that,
I thought the Smithers shit was really funny. I thought the Marge and her store stuff was really funny, but I found so much of the hip hop stuff to be pretty fucking cringy, which detracted from it. But in the end, for me, it just comes to the middle, just sure, this was fine.
Yeah, they took a big swing with an hour-long one, and it was fine.
It also never occurred to me that this was when Empire was big, because I don't know shit about Empire.
And it was a Fox show, so that the overlap makes sense.
Yep, so they did an Empire 2-parter.
Let's see if episode 14, Fats Coraldo, can be anything better than fine.
What
Fats
is
Coraldo?
What? Not a clue.
Yeah. I can't think of what that could be. It's got to be a literary reference, something. Fitzcarraldo, something like that.
Greg Giraldo. It's probably paying homage to Greg Giraldo.
Yeah, pour one out for old Fats Coraldo himself, Greg Giraldo.
Pour one out for a real one, Greg Giraldo.
Episode begins with Homer at work, and he's won a button guessing contest, which shocking that a place like Mr. Burns' power plant would ever have any kind of thing like this, but they got a big quart mason jar full of buttons, and goddamn if Homer didn't guess it right on the nose, which means he and the rest of the plant get the day off, which is, Jesus, that's a nice treat if you have a job you hate.
That's the thing. This wasn't a real contest. It was just a way for Mr. Burns to get everyone out of the plant so he and Smithers could hide the bodies.
That's true, too, yeah. And, bodies, plural. There's, a bucket full of bodies, on the front of a tractor. And they get dumped in with the Christmas ornaments, which I like. Homer is psyched about this. I'm in my head, I'm guessing it's mid-afternoon. So it's I got the rest of this day to kill. He's all excited until he gets home and realizes he's got to join the rest of the family at Patty and Selma's DMV Awards.
Ugh,
which
I can't imagine.
Insane.
Yeah.
and Patty and Selma, it's a big to-do. They are all dressed up, and it's as awful as one could imagine. And all award shows, it drags on. And we get good visuals of Homer, just beside himself with boredom. He can't contain how angry he is.
At one point, he just shouts the word heckle a few times.
Yep. Because, there's all this forced banter between Patty and Selma that's not funny. And finally, he just can't take it. He just gets up and leaves. I think it's Bart is asking, bring me with you. And he's like, you'll just slow me down. So he abandons his son. and he just takes off driving. And He's angry that he wasted his evening at an award show, so he decides to bury his feelings with some good trash food at Krusty Burger.
Been there.
Reliable Krusty Burger. And what I like is they no longer carry the Krusty Burger at Krusty Burger.
Yep.
That was a good... Was it Squeaky Voice Teen? I think it is.
Yep, squeaky voice teen working the counter.
Yeah.
They've been bought out by a Japanese company, and now they're like an Asian health food fusion joint.
Yeah, fusion's right. It's all these weird combos. It's all like fancier, healthier options.
Like a bratwurst banh mi and shit.
Yeah, a lot of tofu involved. And like there's nothing that Homer can recognize on the menu. And he's distraught. And I think he stumbles onto a couple other food places that are now switched to healthy options.
Yeah,
so
like
he's
Kentucky Fried Chickpeas, which I think is pretty funny.
Yeah.
And Tofu Bell, which is a little lazy, but Kentucky Fried Chickpeas made up for it.
And he just is just driving now. He's just distraught. And he doesn't know what he's going to do until he stumbles upon Deuce's Caboose Chili Dogs, or the Deuce Caboose Chili Dogs. It's like a literal caboose. It's like a food truck, but it's a section of a train.
Yeah.
And he is overjoyed because they're delicious. It's ran by an elderly guy who he's just at work. He's like, because Homer's asking questions and he's just giving one word answers. He's over it. This dude has served a lot of chili dogs in his life.
It's a very old man.
And I like that it turns out he was gone all night.
They show him pulling into the house in the morning as the sun comes up.
And he's just bebopping along, having a great day. Goes inside, the family still waiting for him. And they're like, where have you been? Oh, Marta was great. I was eating hot dogs. It's like, that's so stupid. It has to be true.
That's
just such a good response. And he's telling him how great these hot dogs were. And Grandpa overhears this. And Grandpa tells Homer how they used to bring him there when he was a kid. And we get a kind of a flashback. They would bring him there because they had marital counseling right next door, which Homer could hear them yelling from the Deuce Caboose. And his dad would order him a small beverage and make him sit there for 90 minutes.
Oh, my God.
And I think the Deuce Caboose worker guy feels pity on him and gives him a chili dog.
Yep, gives him chili dogs.
And then we see this is where Homer's problem eating began. This is where he started eating his feelings. It was always just him, things going wrong in the house, and him just fucking scarfing down chili dogs.
Fucking young child Homer sitting there just wolfing down a chili dog while his parents holler at each other. Holy shit.
I like that footage of him old and in bed, like in a hospital bed, and him just dumping a chili dog into his IV drip. And he's just mainlining chili dog at this point.
And when it hits him, he kind of and settles into the bed.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on a chili dog?
Rarely will I order them, but I'll fuck a chili dog up.
Yeah, I like it, but I think it's rarely worth the mess.
Yeah, that's my problem. When you're getting a chili dog, it's often served at a place that doesn't have a dining area or silverware. You can't eat a chili dog like a hot dog. You're going to take a fucking bath afterwards. Like, you need a plate and a knife and a fork. Like,
Yep. I'm going to eat a chili dog like a fucking civilized human being.
But you give me those options, I will eat a chili dog.
I don't think I've ever had a chili dog that I didn't make myself.
Oh, interesting.
I don't think I've ever had a chili dog out in the wild, out in public. I got chili dog shame. I'm in here with the shades drawn.
Bashful chili boy.
I'm also not the biggest chili fan in the world, so...
really? I'll fuck up a good chili.
I can't imagine a situation in which I would have chili when I could have soup instead. Almost any other soup.
Oh, no, there's times I want chili.
Huh.
Oh.
I'm not and when I do make chili, it's like I got my own rules to play by. Like I'm not interested in those big fucking red kidney beans. Like my chili is My chili has like pinto beans and that's it. Like burger and pinto beans. We got some spice and some sweetness and plenty of fucking, celery and onions and tomatoes. Yeah.
Yeah, celery's a good choice. I should consider celery.
Yeah, get some of that in there. Live your life.
A little crunch. Yeah. Spend some money. Indulge in a 90-cent package of celery.
Yeah, here's the thing. Celery's cheap, dog.
Celery might be the cheapest produce you can buy.
It's either that or iceberg lettuce. It's right. Yeah. It's neck and neck. I think you can get a head of iceberg lettuce for 48 cents if you catch it on sale.
That's literally one of the reasons they're actually onto something with this inflation shit. You can't get iceberg lettuce for under $1 anymore.
Oh,
it's like $1.30. It's like, what's this country coming to?
Brother, this isn't going to play outside of this region. This is strictly a regional conversation we're about to have. But brother, I paid $14.99 for a stick of Cloverdale summer sausage.
Really?
Just a couple of weeks ago.
Holy shit.
$15. That shit used to be $7 when I was in college. And you bitched about how much it cost back then.
Yeah. Yep. So you might have to run for public office. That could be your hot button issue.
On the fucking summer sausage platform. Summer sausage would probably be my burlesque name if I did some cross-dressing burlesque.
Boy, all the boys come running when summer sausage is about to hit the stage.
Coming out for hot to teacher in full drag.
Put your hands together for Braun Schweiger coming up next. Summer sausage.
That would be our duo act. Yeah, Braun Schweiger and Summer Sausage.
Yeah. Braun Schweiger will be my wrestling name.
Okay. All right. I'm going to hold you to that.
I have to wear a full one-piece bodysuit like the Conquistadors because it's like my casing.
Get to wear a full one-piece bodysuit, Nathan.
Jesus, that thing would need a drain plug in it.
Right in the taint.
Oh God, that's my finisher.
like a trumpet spit valve.
Oh fuck. So after telling his family about how excited he was about these summer sausage or these the chili dogs.
Now you're thrown. You're like $14.99. You're in a panic. What do they cost here? Oh God.
I'm feverishly checking online. Oh, my sausage connects.
That's why you're distracted right now. You're fucking you got Instacart open. How much is it here?
Sell, Manuel, sell. Also, I think it's Marge that puts two and two together. It's like, that's why you eat your feelings. And Homer isn't even interested, like in the correlation between the trauma and the problem eating. Nope. He's just psyched about these chili dogs.
Yep.
And then he's like, well, I won't get to go back because I'll be at home for a while. That's when Patty and Selma come out, and they lost their jobs because the money they had set aside for the award show was $42, and Patty and Selma went $100,000 over budget, so they no longer work at the DMV. And they're gonna live at the Simpsons house for the foreseeable future. And when they get going on, like, we have a daughter and an iguana, and they both have diarrhea. Just so good. Yeah. And we just see Homer drinking this knowledge in, and the next thing we know, he's back at the Deuce Caboose.
Yeah. I don't know how closely you were paying attention, but those chili dogs at Deuce's Caboose are so big that he serves 3 of them on a pizza pan. Those fucking big chili dogs.
No shit. Yeah, you're right, though. Now that I think it's on a huge platter when there's more than one. Yeah. So he's all excited going back, and the old man's still polite, but not like really. It's like, I used to go here as a kid. He's like, oh man, I've served a lot of chili dogs. I don't know what to tell you. And while the kind of a very, very light B story, Lisa is back trying to get scoops as a reporter for the second grade newspaper. and they're not things aren't working out for him. And eventually it turns out the funding has been cut.
It's even better than that. It's the second grade radio station.
Oh, shit. Oh, really? Why was I thinking it was the newspaper?
Because that's a normal thing that a school might have.
Yeah.
Radio station is not.
Because they're losing. Yeah, because you're right, though. Because at one time, it's like, we're even losing to the Bullies podcast.
Yeah.
It's the three bullies all politely sitting around, microphones. They're like, left, right, or center. Where do you punch?
Yeah, where do you punch?
Yeah. So she is very sad about this. Homer sees this, and Homer, he's like, the way I cure sadness, maybe it'll work for Lisa. They go get a chili dog, which I don't know why Lisa agreed to it. She would not eat chili dogs unless things have drastically changed with her.
Oh, yeah, that never even occurred to me, but you're 100% right.
But it does not matter because they drive out there, and goddamned if the Deuce's Caboose isn't closed. Because in this fine print, I think it says sold to new owners. And while they're there, within seconds, Homer's out of the car and he's just emotionally a wreck. And that's when Krusty and a bunch of suits show up. Turns out it's been purchased by Krusty Co. And they got all these plans of how they're going to change it, this and that. They're not even going to let the guy that runs it be in the ads. They're just going to find a guy that looks like him.
Yep.
And I think they say Garrett Morris. I wonder if that was Garrett Morris voicing the Deuce's Caboose guy. That would be a good gag. Like, we need to find someone like a Garrett Morris because they found him to do the voice.
It's not, but I don't know who Garrett Morris is.
Garrett Morris was one of the original SNL guys, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And while all this, they're kind of arguing on what they want to do with the Deuce's Caboose, all the big shots. Homer sees an opening and he hooks a chain to his bumper and begins to pull a fucking train caboose, not on tires, on rails, down the highway. And for like a hot second, you think he might be on the free and clear. And then we see there's helicopters above him. And then it cuts to the Springfield house and they're all watching it on the news. It's like Lisa and Homer on the run. And like Lisa's something like Homer's like, I'm trying to save a precious childhood memory. And Lisa's like, have you ever thought that this is my childhood and this memory might not be that precious? And he's like, that's for grown up Lisa to worry about.
Yep. Holy shit.
And Lisa just accepts that. Like, fair enough.
That's a great exchange. And there's a great line here. They're watching, the rest of the family's watching this on TV. And Kent Brockman looks down the barrel of the camera and goes, just a reminder, you're watching Channel 6, the one that doesn't cut away when somebody dies. Holy shit.
Because we get some good Kent Brockman. It's like, well, this is usually when you'd probably like some commentary, but I don't have anything to say.
Yeah, I'm watching it right along with you.
Yeah. So people are watching this, and some people are sympathetic to Homer's cause. And we see that when Homer runs out of gas while climbing a hill. But just when they think they're out of hope, a bunch of Springfield fatties show up. Perhaps Comic Book Guy, the only name in that bunch.
Yep, totally.
Just a bunch of Springfield thickies along with Comic Book Guy. God damn it, they don't help push a goddamn train car to the top of a mountain. They do not have the car.
No reason.
Yeah, right. What's the end goal at the top of that mountain?
Right.
And they get it up there, and they're Carmen San Diego, and apparently in Homer's, they get on the other side of that river. They're in the free and clear. But down below is a bunch of limos causing like a barricade. It's Krusty along with a bunch of other like big name fast food. We get Colonel Sanders. Yeah. We get the Jack in the Box guy.
Yeah.
I can't think of who. There's a couple others that are down there, but
the Burger King.
Oh, good call. Yep. Homer then pushes the cart. He's not going to take no for an answer. He rams it, flies through, sends the limos flying everywhere, but loses control on the bridge. And that's when the Deuce's Caboose flies off the edge, assuming right away to their doom. But goddamn, one chain hooks. So one chain catches on the bridge, so they're hanging very precariously. And that's when the old man from the Deuce's Caboose shows up. And he's trying to save Homer, and that's when he admits to everything. Like, I knew you, I knew you were someone that needed a friend, this and that. And Homer's very teary-eyed. And just seconds before the caboose plummets, the old man is able to grab him, pulls him up. And the Simpsons show up in the family sedan, get Homer in, and everyone goes home, and all is right in Springfield.
And Mac Tonight plays the Chinatown theme.
Yeah, because Lou brings up a good point. It's like, hey, Chief, like there were several felonies committed here right now. Like,
why are you letting him just walk away? Yeah,
like. Forget about it, Lou. It's Chili Town. That's like the second, if not third time they have used that exact same ending.
Yeah, it was fine with me. It's the Mac Tonight who's playing it that really sells it for me.
Yeah. Why is the moon wearing sunglasses, Daddy? The same reason cops do, to look real cool. A fine episode.
Yeah, kind of whatever episode. Yeah, it was perfectly fine. The only thing, I don't know why this bugged me the whole time, but the old man who runs the chili dog caboose doesn't look like a Simpsons character. You know, he looks like he's drawn for a different show. Very
good point. I felt that too.
Like I couldn't describe to you why, you know, there's just something about the way he looked. He doesn't look like a Simpsons character.
I even paused it. I think it might be that he has eyes that are, I've never seen that design of eye, like the shape of it.
And he's got a different shaped head. Everyone kind of has the same. I feel like every Simpsons character starts with the same template. Yeah. And he just looked like he's from a different show.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of forgot about that, but you're absolutely right.
Maybe I'll have to give chili dogs a try. Maybe I'll have to get deep into chili dogs.
There you go. There's certainly worse things you could order at a Sonic drive-thru than their Coney chili cheese dog.
Okay, I always just get the breakfast burritos at Sonic. I've literally never eaten anything else at Sonic, and I go to Sonic with some amount of regularity.
Yeah. That's one thing with a chili dog, tough to fuck up really bad. Because first off, it's just hot dogs.
Oh, that's true.
They're already trash food. I think the old man, when he was about to save him, he's like, well, what was so important about him? It's just something like thin casing wrapped around chicken asses.
Yep. That's a fun joke.
Like the idea there's some guy at a slaughterhouse whose job is to remove the ass from chickens.
Just one guy with a scalpel. Just whoop,
yeah, there you go. One tiny fucking penny-sized chicken asshole in a mountain of chicken assholes.
He's been at it for 20 years. He's real good at it.
Oscar Mayer truck idling, just throwing them in the box.
One last go around. Episode 15 is The Cad and the Hat. We get a fun couch gag where they all pile onto the couch and the sailboat painting is missing, and they're like, oh, maybe another cartoon took it. So Homer goes next door, and it's South Park. This is all done by Robot Chicken, you can tell, but it's South Park, but it's not like TM South Park. It's like an off South Park.
It's like some generic kids that are that age,
but in construction paper style. Yeah. And then he tears through that one, and next door is the California Raisins. He fucking murders a couple of California raisins,
burns them alive.
And then the last one that he comes crashing into is the nerd from Robot Chicken, and it's hanging above his bed because he's a memorabilia collector. And so, of course, he wants the sailboat from The Simpsons. And Homer steals it and takes it back. That's a fun little thing.
Yeah.
We get Bart and Lisa sitting on the couch. Lisa's kind of telling the story. It's going to be, and I thought it was going to be like, it's going to be like a storytelling episode, but really it's just bookended this way, front and back. Yeah.
Kind of like that Woody Allen-ish one where they had like narration at the beginning and end.
Yeah, but with Bart dressed as Woody Allen. Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah.
We get the reopening of the horrifically polluted beach in Springfield. Springfield has a beach because it has whatever you need.
Yeah.
Quimby fucking cuts the red ribbon and throws the golden scissors into the ocean, and they melt. Like things are great. The family's in a souvenir shop. We get a brief glance of a rack full of Bort license plate souvenirs.
That was my first note. Yeah, like a huge rack of nothing but Bort license plates. That was a nice touch.
Yep, that was fun. Lisa finds a hat, like a little sun hat, kind of bucket hat style sun hat, and puts it on, and immediately Wouldn't It Be Nice starts playing, and she dreams of how great she looks in this hat and how great things would be in this hat. And one of the things she imagines is her riding a unicorn that turns Donald Trump into a troll doll.
Yeah.
Which
hot political takes.
Yeah, like this is the first Trump thing we've done, I think, right?
Trump as president, at least, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure we've taken shots or seen him before, but this is the first 2016-esque, Trump.
There's like a flash forward episode in the 90s where they flash forward and they make a joke about President Donald Trump.
Yeah, because Lisa's the president and she's like, "Oh, we inherited a huge deficit from President Trump," and everyone was like, "Oh, what a hilarious joke! Can you imagine?"
Yeah.
But we
now
got
we
there.
Can.
Yeah. So Lisa's got her hat and loves it. Meanwhile, Bart got a temporary tattoo that immediately washes off in the ocean, and he's bummed out. Temporary tattoos a part of your childhood? You fucking lick them and stick them?
Barely. It had to be included in something.
Get it out of a Cracker Jack box or something?
Exactly. Or fucking a 12-pack of Barks root beer. They got some Bark 2s, they called them. They had their own line of fake tattoos.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, but that was nothing I ever was like excited about. But if I'm a kid, if you give me a fake tattoo, I'm sticking it on my fucking forehead like a lunatic, like like a Charles Manson follower. On the subject of sartorial decisions, 17-year-old Marlon
guy.
Is he going to wear a bucket hat when it was all the rage? You feel like you could have pulled the bucket hat off.
I don't think so, but I think bucket hats are pretty fucking miserable. I don't think the bucket hat is a good look. Like maybe with the real light exception of like a Beastie Boy can wear a bucket hat because it matches his tracksuit. You know what I mean? Like bucket hats are okay in a hip hop context.
God, there was a time in the late 80s, early 90s where there were a lot of bucket hats. You went to a college party, you were seeing a lot, or fisherman's hats, whatever you want to call them.
Sure, yeah. You wearing a bucket hat at any point?
Oh, my God. My head just repels hats.
Oh, yeah, you're not really a hat person.
Too big of a head.
I also have an enormous head, so it's tough for me to find hats. Yeah. But I do like hats, so I'll go through the trouble of buying and then sending back a dozen hats online because they don't fucking fit.
I actually got into wearing hats in like my 20s, and then all of a sudden trucker hats became something to mock. And I'm like, motherfucker, I have too big of a head to wear any other kind of hat than a trucker hat. Like, I loved a trucker hat because it was tall enough to fit my... And motherfucker, I have a commercial driver's license.
I have a CDL, goddammit. I should be wearing one of these.
I am legally allowed to wear trucker hats.
I can't wear anything that has a snapback. No snapback is going to fit my fucking head.
Oh, okay. I can get 2 to buckle usually. I don't want to brag.
You got to have 2. You can't do 1. If only 1 snaps, then that hat doesn't fit because that looks ridiculous on the back of your fat fucking head.
I know 2 men in my hometown that just wear them unsnapped on their giant beach ball heads.
Oh, fuck. I don't think I could do that. Just the
flaps sticking out. That's a bold choice.
Yeah, that's... Oh, boy. And it sucks because I like snapback hats and I've grown to like a flat brim, but I can't fucking wear any of them because my head's too goddamn big.
Yeah.
But like I own a snapback hat that I love that I can't wear, and I knew that when I bought it. This is not going to fit you and you're never going to wear it, but I love that hat, so I bought it anyway.
So I'm as a kid, I made that choice a few times and realized you're not cut out for these. Like no fitted hat would fit my head.
Yeah. I have okay luck with the elastic adjustable, or not adjustable, but the elastic one size fits all. Like I have okay luck with those, but still about 1 in 3 or 1 in 2 I gotta send back because it's like, nope, this doesn't, or fucking stretch it over a bar stool for a while.
I've legit put basketballs inside my beanies. Because I want to fit my head.
Yep, I've stretched out a hat, run it through a hot water wash cycle so it's hot and wet, and then stretch it over a basketball and leave it sit for several days. I've done that number.
Don't say you don't learn anything here at America's Barley Basket.
You really gotta fucking want it. You gotta want it. That snapback I bought, it's a piece of merch from Puddle's Pity Party, the operatic clown. I went to one of his shows at the Fargo Theater a few years ago, and it was fucking outstanding. The dude was so good and so funny. And I bought that hat just to, like, I want to support you because this is rad. And it's, if you imagine the FBI font, it's a black hat, and in that font across the front it says CRY in the FBI font.
That's
I'm like,
smart.
I'm like, this is amazing. This is a great fucking hat, which I would wear all the time if it would fit on my big fucking melon head.
My big dumb head.
God damn it.
I just want to accessorize. Is that so wrong?
I'm just trying to accessorize. I can only do so much with fun socks.
Yeah. Just the most garish light up socks to make up for everything else.
I have quite the selection of fun socks, because if you want to wear fun clothing but you're shaped like this, that's your option. Fun socks.
Or wear lots of turquoise jewelry.
Yep.
You need to be draped in more jewelry. Should be your goal as the year goes on.
I have never fully committed, but I think I could be a ring guy. I could see myself being a ring guy. Like several.
I could see that. It would fit the energy. It would, you could. It wouldn't seem way out of place on you, if that makes sense. I think I
could rock like a 2 on one hand and 3 on the other kind of ring setup. I think I could do it. Someday I'll have the courage, the bravery.
Just being super self-conscious about it. Like, yes, I'm wearing rings. Like,
what
chill
about
out,
it,
dude?
Big garish fucking rings too. I think someday I'll have the chutzpah.
We're all rooting for you.
Homer comes across a bunch of guys playing chess, and he hustles Jasper at fucking chess, takes $20 off of poor Jasper. Turns out Homer's good at chess. Why the fuck not?
Why not? Son of a bitch was an astronaut.
Bart, because he's a fucking asshole, throws Lisa's hat in the dump while she's sleeping in the Krusty Burger drive-thru for no reason, just to be a dick. Because
Lisa's happy and he's sad.
Every once in a while, Bart is a huge piece of shit.
Yeah.
And Bart is struggling to sleep that night and sees at the foot of the bed he has a guilt demon. And I don't, like, this episode is Cat in the Hat. Like, I don't know if this is a Dr. Seuss thing. I immediately thought of fucking Big Mouth. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But, like, this emotional demon that follows you around, I was like, maybe it's a Big Mouth thing. Who knows?
It kind of looks like a big goblin version of Bart.
Yeah.
Like a beat up version of Bart.
Yeah. Green skin, ugly. And so he's explaining to Bart that he has guilt, and the longer he, lets this go on without apologizing to Lisa, the bigger and worse he's going to get. Lisa wakes up in an absolute fucking panic, looking for her hat, looks all over the house, looks in the car, and then rides her bike down to the fucking boardwalk, like, in the middle of the night. She's having trouble.
Yeah.
Homer is down at Moe's whooping ass at chess. He's playing 3 different chess games at once against, I think it's Barney, Lenny, and Carl. I like that Moe is not happy that chess is happening in his bar.
I am impressed that Barney would even be able to stay upright long enough to play a chess game. That's a sign that Barney's got it figured out a little bit.
Yeah, I think Barney's doing okay.
Putting the fun in functional alcoholic.
There's a t-shirt. That t-shirt exists for sure.
Totally. Remember that good long multi-season run we had of sober Barney?
Yeah, and then they threw it away they threw it away off screen.
So dumb. Why not make an episode out of that?
Yeah. Homer digs back into some childhood memories and remembers that he learned chess from a grandmaster so that he could beat his dad at chess. Because after Mona left, they played chess every day, and Abe always won. And so Homer wanted to win, so he went and learned chess from a chess master, and then beat Abe that day, and Abe never played again.
Yeah, just a salty, pitiful man, that Abe Simpson.
It's such an insane scene because he gets checkmate, and then Abe is just like, we had a good thing and you ruined it. It's like, you fucking piece of garbage. Oh. So this guilt monster is still plaguing Bart. He's got to tell Lisa what he did if he wants to get rid of this guilt demon. And he finally fesses up to Lisa for tossing her hat away, and Lisa not going to forgive him no matter what. Yeah. He's apologizing. He tries to give her gifts. Nothing. Lisa is having none of it.
Gives her a bunny and a hammer, which Nelson takes. Well, Mom said I'm supposed to bring home lunch.
Oh my God, that's so ridiculous. Bart gives her all of these things, and among them are a hammer and a bunny. Nelson goes, "Oh, well, Mom told me to bring lunch or bring home supper." God damn it.
I think the hammer was there to crack Bart's piggy bank. I think that's why there was a hammer to begin with.
Yep, you're 100% right.
Because I was right away, it was was that for Lisa to kill a bunny?
As we've covered before on this show, you can open a piggy bank. They're meant to open. Homer, it turns out, is good at chess and also bowling because he hates his dad. He's almost good at these things as a replacement for murdering Abe.
Oh, I missed the part where he mentions that's the same for bowling. Interesting.
Yeah, well, they don't outright say it, but you get a long montage of him bowling and the pins all look like Abe.
Oh, good call. Yep.
He goes home and Skypes with Magnus Carlsen, who plays himself.
That's good. Again, obscure celebrity. I enjoy that.
Yep, that was a fun one. Meanwhile, Bart goes to the junkyard and finds the car, the junker car that the hat landed in. He's like, oh, thank God I found it. And then immediately the car is crushed in the car crusher down into a cube. Gil laments, oh God, my car and my house. So Bart's like, oh, I need God on my side. We get Rod and Todd praying over this car, which starts to levitate.
Insane.
Because that's what the boy... This is a wild episode. As far as just wild shit, this is wild shit. And at one point, Bart spills a little Buzz Cola and it eats through the car, and he's like, oh, I just need more of it. Cut to him filling a fucking wading pool full of Buzz Cola, and the fucking dud Flanders boys levitate it into the pool to dissolve a big enough hole in the car so Bart can retrieve the hat.
And there's a good quick scene where Ned walks up and is like, you boys committing miracles? Daddy, Jesus is committing miracles through us. And he's like, oh, that's just great. That's something that happens. like they're making too much noise in the basement.
Oh my God.
You boys committing miracles again?
Ridiculous.
Not a lot of Ned in this batch.
Not a lot of Ned this season, I feel like.
Oh, maybe Ned, that's it. You're right, yeah.
Ned, I feel like, has been pretty light the past few weeks.
Yep. We had Ned and a lot of Ned in one season. Maybe just last season. Maybe last season.
I think it might have been last one, yeah.
Yeah.
But this season, a lot of Burns, and I'll take that trade-off any day.
Yeah, so you're higher on Burns, but I think I would too. Because with Burns, you get Smithers. They're a good combo.
Burns is the one Simpsons character I would absolutely get a tattoo of.
Yeah. Mine would be Milhouse or Kirk.
Maybe both.
Yeah.
Everyone is that you should get Millhouse with that Kill House grill from last week. Everyone is at Moe's watching Abe and Homer play a fucking chess match because Homer marches into the old folks' home like, God damn it, we're going to play chess like we used to. Magnus Carlsen is watching on Skype, and there's a fantastic moment, this great callback joke where Magnus finally is like, I gotta go. It's like 4 a.m. here because he's in Norway. And so the Skype window closes, and I think it's Mo goes, how did we get Magnus Carlsen? And Carl goes, hey, he's my cousin, and takes a drink of his beer because we did a whole episode where Carl Carlsen is from Sweden.
Yeah.
That's great.
I bet there was like a light bulb going off moment in the writer's room. Like, wait, Carl's last name is Carlson. We can make this work.
Yep. I thought that was very funny. Homer and Abe, this match is going back and forth, and Homer forfeits, just like lets Abe win, and they have their moment of father-son love, I guess. Kind of a fizzle episode to that half of the story.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It was almost like, oh, we're running out of time. Got to think of something.
Wrap it up. Bart gives Lisa the hat back. She doesn't want it. She's sticking to her guns of never forgiving Bart for this hat mishap. And as Bart goes to leave, she has her own guilt monster that pops up and goes, hey, he's trying to be nice, okay?
Yeah.
And then she forgives him, and all is well in the Simpson household again. And Bart's guilt demon goes flying away, but hits his head on an airplane and falls into the cooling tower of the nuclear plant. And then comes out of it this huge mutated kaiju monster, which apparently, I guess, makes him real to everybody because Burns sees it out the window and is just like, oh, this will be very useful.
Yeah. What is he implying? Is he going to get that thing to do his bidding?
Right. I don't know. It's a perfectly fine episode. A little weird.
Yeah.
Like I said, as far as wild on The Simpsons goes, because largely they're a moderately realistic show. Some wild shit in this one.
Of this batch, I feel like, man, it's pretty even keel. I give Pork and Beans, or Pork and Burns, pardon me, just a bit of a pop because some of that plopper shit was really funny.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best one of the batch. I didn't dislike the Great Gatsby one, the two-parter, but like to me there were lots of good jokes in that, but as a whole I didn't care for it. But we did get a ton of Burns, and that goes a long fucking way with me. So
yeah. And the best parts were the Burns parts, like the flashbacks and then him spending money. Like
100%
was the best.
Like hip hop Burns was fun to see.
Yeah.
Let's do it again next week. We will do episodes. So now the numbers are going to be a little weird the rest of the season. I think because on Disney Plus there is no episode 13. It just goes, fucking 12 to 14 because that one is a two-parter. But
okay. So
we're going to do what I'm going to call episodes 16 through 20 of season 28. If you're looking at titles on
Camp Crustier.
Yep, Camp Crustier through Looking for Mr. Goodbart. So that's next week's batch of episodes. You got big things popping in life?
Just those 5 Simpsons episodes.
That's all you got going for you.
That's all I got. I visualize my goals one at a time.
Attaboy. Not me. I got a lot of irons in the fire.
Yeah.
Even that's not fucking true. No, I don't.
You're the hedgehog. I'm the cobra. You're out sampling from little bits and pieces here while I'm waiting for the one big prize, the one big batch of Simpsons episodes.
I'm gonna keep housing fucking boring cereals. That's what I'm gonna keep doing.
Just run out of milk and just start pouring tap water right into the bowl of cornflakes.
I when I'm done with a box of cereal, I take out the plastic bag, throw that in the garbage, and then like collapse the box and eventually just like take all my cardboard out to the recycling. And it takes me a while to get enough cardboard to be worth the walk all the way to the recycling. Yeah. So if someone were to like walk into my house and look at my like basket of cardboard I have, it is just dozens of bright orange boxes with Simone Biles on them. I look like the biggest pervert with the most specific like black athlete fetish because Simone Biles is on all the Wheaties boxes right now.
She's got such little feet. I love her little feet.
I don't even eat the cereal.
Junior size 4.
Brother, you can just Google photos if you want. Like, you don't gotta buy all this cereal.
Shit.
Like that hadn't even occurred to me.
Drats.
Oh shit.
Cases of Wheaties getting sent to your house.
Buying bulk Wheaties on the internet because you think the athlete is hot.
You got to be saving UPCs for something.
Like a box tops for education kind of shit.
Yeah. You can get her gymnast shoes. You want to get them in your own size.
Oh God.
Now I'm the prettiest ballerina.
He's got too many laces. I can't bend all the way down for these laces.
Holy shit, one of your neighbors overhearing you say that from underneath your door, and then like fucking gymnast music kicks in and she hears the most ungodly racket.
As I do my floor routine.
Yeah. You got a pommel horse in your apartment just fucking up the sheetrock.
Oh shit.
What sound do you think you'd make when you did your run and jump on top of the pommel horse? Yeah. Ooh.
I bet if I tried to hop onto a pommel horse, I would hit that thing at fucking chest height, like just run headlong into the end of it.
Or not get like jump on a horse but not getting high enough so you just fall off to the side.
Oh God.
Well, we start you on floor routine. We build up to the pommel horse.
We're gonna one thing at a time. Here's some ribbons. Get your ribbon dance down.
You can't go right to the uneven bars. That's nuts.
Oh God. I'm just cranking up Adam Ant through my sound bar. Just da da da. Hey, it's just the most dated music that I'm trying to ribbon dance to.
Goody, 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 two shoes.
You don't drink, don't smoke. What you gonna do? Don't drink, don't. That's a good song. That's a banger. Like, I'm pretty into Goody Two Shoes, actually.
You in the park with a head wrap and a unitard, got your bar set up, just steely determination in your eyes, wearing far too little of booties. Those are the smallest shoes.
Don't crush my dreams.
You leap up onto that first bar that just snaps.
Oh shit. All right, 16 to 20 for next week. You can find us on the internet at Barley Basket USA on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. BarleyBasketUSA@gmail.com is the email address, and we will see you next week.
Bye, everybody.